everyone, welcome back to my channel. Okay, so I'm gonna get right into it. This video is gonna be what's in my real estate binder. And again, this is something else that I created while I was in Humber. So this is the Tory and Realty Buyers Questionnaire. So the same way that the team I was on, they had one, I just created one that was more tailored to the information I wanted to know. So again, it is their contact information, you know what, again, I'll just put this up on the screen, but it's their contact information, how many kids they have. I put a spot there for kids and pets, date of birth, how long they've lived there, what do they like about the house, because that will really help you in selling points to next, how long they've lived there. Sometimes this is about a home where they are currently, that they've purchased, or sometimes it's about where they're currently renting. But I asked them, what do you like about the place where they're currently living? And this will just really help you pinpoint on what things to look for in the houses that they look to buy. If they say, oh, we moved here, or we rented this house because it's close to work, or we rented it because it's close to the mountains or close to the water, whatever the scenario may be, then I'll ask, have you purchased a home before? If they have, I'll say, tell me about it. What would you have changed? So that's a very crucial question, because you can learn from other people's mistakes and just get ahead of the game from then. And then if not, how familiar are you with the process? Some people will say, you know, I've never purchased before, but I've helped my mom do it a couple times, or my sister, or I have no idea what it involves to buy a house. So that just helps you tailor your information. It helps me particularly to tailor my presentation to them. If they already kind of know the flow, I don't need to go as detailed. If they are just first-time home buyers and they don't know much, then I'll go over some more details with them. Then another important question, how long have you been looking for a home? This will tell you what kind of fatigue they have, if they are ending near the end of the road and they're just tired and frustrated, or if they're just starting and they don't know what they want and they may be indecisive, or if it's been for a long time, that may bring up the point, are you working with a realtor? So that'll be a good time to question that, so that you know how committed they're going to be to you. Next is what sources have you been using to search? So a lot of people just use realtor.ca and House Sigma and things like that. So if they do have that, me doing a personalized search for them on the MLS will always be an advantage, because that will be quick and immediate information. Do you have your pre-approval? And even if they do have their pre-approval, I always ask them if they'd like a second opinion. Most people have their pre-approval done by their bank, but I always like to refer them to one of the mortgage brokers I'm working with, because brokers can source out so many different sources, and sometimes, depending on their scenario, actually get them a better rate. And then I say, describe your ideal home. So bedrooms, bath size, garage, pool, if it's turnkey, if you want to do renovations, things like that. I ask them, what can't you live without? So that's kind of their must-haves. And then what budget do you want to stay within, or for monthly payments? Some people don't know what their affordability is, like as a purchase price, but may say, you know what, I can afford $1,500 a month. So then I'll get them to work with one of my mortgage brokers to work backwards and figure out, if this is the monthly payment you want to have, and this is the kind of down payment you have, this is likely the range that you want to be within. I ask them for ideal communities or areas. And then another good question is, what do you plan to do if you don't find the right property? So this is good to know. This sometimes tells you if they're in a haste, if they need to find something immediately for work, or if their landlord is selling their house or they're getting kicked out, or if they just are not in a rush. Sometimes I get people who would like to move, but they're not in a rush. They rather wait for the right property. I have clients who I've been working with I have one client I've been working with from when I got licensed, and I just got them a house probably like 2 months ago. So close to 2 years. It wasn't like straight 2 years of helping them find a home. It was on and off. They went through some life situations, yada, 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 but it depends on their scenario. I asked them, how much do you have saved for a down payment? I explained to them the difference between a down payment. I asked, do you know the difference between a down payment and a deposit? That's very important. I ask them kind of what their schedule's like, when is the best time to view homes. And then I also like to ask them, what are you looking for in a realtor? What is most important to you? Everybody has heard a bad story about a realtor, so I like to know what's important for clients. Some people say they don't want to be set up on an automatic search with all these houses that are irrelevant to them. They only want to be sent homes that actually meet their specific criteria. So that's something I can do with my system. What is it called? Concierge. There's a concierge feature that I can do. Some people say they want to know homes that may meet their criteria. As soon as it's on the market, they need to know right away. Again, that's another feature on my system that I can do. And then the last one is just, are you feeling comfortable and ready for your next home? So that just kind of brings in a bit of personality and gets to know them better. So that's the buyer questionnaire. I also have the seller questionnaire, which is pretty much similar. It just asks a bit more information on the house, any repairs or renovations that they've done, and things like that. So I'll post it on the screen here. If you want to just pause the video, screenshot it, go right ahead, darling. Okay, so that's it in this book for now. But again, I'm gonna switch to my other book where I have more documents. This is a checklist that I created myself in Canva. It's called Tory's Checklist for Listing a Home. So again, I'll just put this up on the screen. But the first section is just paperwork. So when I'm with a client, these are basically all the paperwork I want to make sure I have. So the working with the realtor, listing agreement, FinTrack forms, and a copy of their ID, a geo, those top three are mandatory. These next ones are just optional. So the geo warehouse report and a CMA completed, any rental equipment that they have, the utility companies they use, the MLS data sheet that I just showed you, any floor plans if available, property taxes, and then status certificate if it's a condo. Then after that, we go to getting ready. So getting ready for it to go live, clients need to declutter and I always do a professional cleaning for all of my clients when listing a home. And then if staging is needed, I will direct them to some options and the clients would pay for staging. Any touch-ups or renovations that need to be done before listing, I would arrange for photos and video. I would do a feature sheet and have some COVID supplies ready at the house. I would arrange for the for sale sign post and the sign to go up, have a lockbox and key, and then next it says get Avery to make it live on MLS. That's back when I was on a team, the team that did that for me. Next one is marketing. So I would do a video tour on YouTube and then I'd be sharing the link. I would share the link with my team. And then on all socials, I would create an ad on Facebook Marketplace, create an ad on Kijiji and Craigslist. I would plan a Facebook Live event or a virtual open house, do a KV Core landing page, and then print flyers and do door knocking. And then after the sale, just focus on fulfilling the conditions, sending all the paperwork to the lawyers and Avery, putting up that sold sign, and then sending a sold picture to my clients, and they can put on their socials if they want, direct more attention to my channel. And then I'd always set anniversary reminders to follow up with the clients, see how their move went, and things like that. So that was the first checklist I created. And then as I got more detailed and had more time, I created this one on Canva. It's called Tory's Success Tracker. This is the one I still use to this day. And so these are just more so reminders for me of all the things I need to do, but also I do this together with the client. So it just shows them that I really have things in order and I know what to do, and it gives them a good overview of what is to come as well. So for this one, I just want to make sure I have all the representation documents signed. I have the recent property taxes or status certificate. That'll be a conversation for another day. But typically, I do like to have it ordered and ready when one of my listings go live. A lot of agents won't order it until you actually have an offer on the table, which is perfectly fine. In this kind of market, when we're in a buyer's market, it makes sense not to order it right away because the listing will be on the market a lot longer. But back in like ending of 2021 and beginning of 2022, when it was just, the market was on fire, having that status certificate ordered and available just made your offer process so much easier, because I had condos where people were willing to go firm because they had the status certificate available to view and they could have it reviewed right away. I need to make sure I get all the room measurements, any rentals and fees, and then this is kind of a schedule. So, and this is the order of things that I would do. So first I would figure out when is going to be the cleaning date. That's once the client has decluttered. Then when would be the staging date if needed. Typically, most clients I find don't go for this like a full-on stage unless the house is vacant. They more so like to just declutter. But for some people who have done like a semi-staging, and then others, I have just brought in a few items myself. I have a wonderful company that I work with where you can go to and just grab pieces as you need. I did a video of them, so I'll post that right here. That's an option. And then my first sale signs, my actual signs, I keep those myself at my house, but the post, I do a rental service. So you can definitely pay $100 or $150, sometimes $200 for this post as a one-time fee, and then you use it as many times as you want. You just have to make sure you hammer it into the ground properly and it's straight and not on an angle. I have seen too many slanted signs that just didn't look good. I've heard too many horror stories of people hammering in their sign and then they damaged it and then it doesn't look good. Or it's windy and there's a storm and the ground gets wet and then the sign post falls down. Or just the ground is so cold and so hard, it's a struggle to get it in. So I decided earlier on in my career, I didn't want to deal with any of that. So I do a rental service. So I pay usually about $55 per post, and you usually can have it for like, I think the most I've had it for is like 2 months actually. And it was just that fee. So they will go and they will install it for you. You go and put up your own sign. When the house is sold, they will come and pick it up. If there's any snowstorms or anything like that, they will adjust it for you. I just leave it to the professionals. So anyways, yeah, so I book a date for that to be installed. Then I book a date for photos and videos to be done. And by the way, who I use pretty much on all my listings now is Adam and Belle. They are amazing. I will put a link below to their Instagram page. You can see their materials there. They're amazing. What I love about them is they do great photos. They do great videos. They have the aerial shots. They have a lot of different options. They're great at editing. And one of the things I love is that they create so many marketing materials for you. So they will actually create a website, a landing page for your website. They track all of the activity to the website, which is great, because then I can send that to my clients on a weekly basis saying, this is how much views your home is getting and things like that. And they create just sold, just listed, all those things for you. So I definitely recommend them. Open house. Now we're having a lot of open houses. So I would plan when the open house dates are going to be, or if it's going to be virtual. If we're holding offers, we'll do an offer presentation date. If there's any showing time restrictions, so this is a good thing to ask your client. Sometimes they work from home during the day, so no showings. Or sometimes by the time they get home in the evening, they have young kids, no showings in the evening. Whatever the scenario may be, put that there. And then this is just a reminder for me to have COVID supplies there, which would be sanitizer, mask, gloves, and sometimes booties. Okay. And that is the end of this book. Another book that I had at one time too was this one. And so when I was working with I still work with so many vendors, but when I went to listing appointments, sometimes I like to have this available to be visual and also to give clients some cards. So the different vendors that I work with, I got these sheets probably $5 or $10 off of Amazon, and then I would just have these available. That is pretty much it. If you guys have any specific questions, comment below and I will get back to those. If there's anything in depth you want to learn more about, actually stay tuned. I'm coming up with a network called Collaboration Over Competition, where I'm going to have monthly Zoom meetings for anybody from any brokerage to come on and just ask for questions, ask for help, ask for guidance, whatever you need. There will be no pitching, no sales, none of that. It will just be a safe place for everybody to come and network and get the help that they need. All right, I think this video is long enough. I hope you guys have a wonderful day, and we'll see you in the next video.